Florida pair pleads guilty in the theft of Biden's daughter's diary. We're going to get into the story as this thing goes on because the New York Times actually does lay out the story. And then afterwards, their analysis of it is so slanted and stupid as to be mind-blowing. And they've very carefully worded how they address Project Veritas and their involvement in this story. Their inferences that they will try to get people to draw about Veritas are done masterfully and are entirely improper. But the way they specifically word it is intentional and extremely cautious. New York Times is definitely scared of James O'Keefe, as he should be. And that's going to be a big theme in this piece. A big theme. And the worst part is the New York Times knows this because the New York Times does what Project Veritas is accused of doing in this article every single day. And of course they do it. They have a right to do it. It's how the press, a free press, is allowed to operate without political persecution for what may be the fallout of a free press. Now they say, I stole it. I knew what I did was wrong, blah, 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 blah. I knew it was illegal. That's part of the plea agreement, is that they have to plea to the crime itself. Almost guaranteed that is a specific condition of whatever plea agreement that they got. But they didn't have to make that plea. They may not have actually believed that. It's shocking to find this out, I know, but people say things in court that aren't true with some regularity. And some people plea to things that they don't believe because the punishment for losing the criminal case is so onerous that they would rather plea safely, and they will frankly just lie about their belief of their guilt. Directing someone to steal additional items, that's not legal. But why aren't they charged? Is it because maybe he didn't say to steal additional items? Maybe he said, you need to bring us more proof to authenticate this thing. We don't know if this is hers. How do we go ahead and make sure that this is what it purports to be? So bring me something else. That does not mean go steal something else. And it's very interesting how the New York Times, again, the New York Times accepts and pays for stolen stuff to support their articles all the time with regularity. They can actually take illegally gained things and publish them. They do it all the time. They did it with Trump's tax return. They illegally obtained documents about Project Veritas. They do this all the time. But look at the vile and the venom from New York Times. Project Veritas claims it is a news media organization. Remember, these people think that news media organization is a special vaunted status reserved for an elite group. The New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the LA Times, Reuters, those are the only news media organizations that can exist, and they probably should be licensed. There should probably be some government board that approves our ability to have a stranglehold on the truth. This is how they think, because these people aren't journalists anymore. They're activists, and they have been for quite some time. But we have a politically protected aristocracy in the United States, and the media, who is supposed to be against it, is fully complicit in that. They just want to these people. This is how the government operates. They have a political enemy. His name is James O'Keefe. They want to take all of the stuff that they can from him and from his company. No charges have been filed against Project Veritas or any of its operatives, and the group never published the diary. Oh, look at that. No charges yet. We're 2 years out now. No charges have been filed. Project Veritas is a political enemy of this administration. They're a member of the press. By the way, if you want to be a member of the press, just say, I'm the press. There you go. You did it. You have met your constitutional obligation to be a member of the press. That's it. There's no test to be a member of the press. There's no licensure. There's no permission. So Project Veritas is 100% the press, a news media organization fully protected by the First Amendment. What's going on? They're being harassed by a federal agency that is politically opposed to them. And they're using this other prosecution to justify further harassment without filing criminal charges. And in my humble opinion, they don't even have probable cause on this. Prosecutor said that a Project Veritas operative wanted more of Ms. Biden's property to try and authenticate the diary and would pay more for those additional items. Again, Notice the wording here. Earlier, they implicated or attempted to implicate Project Veritas in being complicit in directing people to steal. But that's not what they're saying here. They wanted more property to authenticate the diary and would pay more for those additional items. That does not mean you know that it's stolen. Hey, where'd you find this stuff? You found this diary? That's crazy. It's just left somewhere in some house. Is there other stuff? If you got something else, we can verify this is the right diary. Yeah, I've got more money for you. Now, maybe, I don't know, they don't publish the text message, and you have to ask yourself why they don't publish the text message that they're saying is the evidence that Project Veritas wanted them to steal. The reason they won't publish the text message is because it does not direct the person to steal. Ms. Biden's lawyers then contacted federal prosecutors in Manhattan. Look at that, immediately. Prosecute these mother. They're touching your sacred cow. Prosecute them now. My dad's about to be president. Just as a reminder, the press is fully protected from the government prosecuting them for obtaining legally, allegedly stolen things and publishing them. Because, shockingly, government entities throughout the United States history, not just a presidency, but local municipal police or municipal governments and stuff like that have tried this. Something gets illegally recorded or illegally obtained. It doesn't matter if it's actually illegal, by the way. The accusation of illegality was enough to justify prosecuting the journalist, the publication, the news media station, the radio station, whatever. There's a huge amount of jurisprudence that says that so long as the publisher does not facilitate the intentional theft of the property, that they have a First Amendment protection to publish it. Like, the government's very good at protecting its activity. They don't want people recording or taking these. They can mark anything top secret, and then suddenly it's illegal for you to own. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, but the First Amendment right to publish this stuff trumps that shit. And it always fucking must. And the fact that the New York Times is such a bunch of butthurt Beto O'Rourke's that they would throw another media organization under the bus for doing what the New York Times would 100 times out of 100 do if they had the opportunity is so fucking dishonest and disgusting that you wish there were a way to revoke specifically their First Amendment rights just because they don't value them at all.